You play the roamer, farm up your full health build, and still get melted in seconds. It is the most frustrating experience in Mobile Legends. In Season 41, winning a late-game teamfight relies almost entirely on your frontline's ability to survive the enemy gold laner. If you fall, your base is next. The auto-build feature is a dangerous trap. Stacking generic, high-tier HP items against a late-game marksman is a mathematically flawed strategy that ignores their specific damage scaling. This matrix shows the difference. On the left, a tank with a generic build depletes completely in 3 seconds. On the right, an optimized counter build absorbs the exact same damage for 8 seconds. Roamers have low gold income. A 2,000 gold mistake cripples your team's survivability. Counter building requires specialization. Investing in the perfect items for the marksman means you are intentionally trading away generalized defense against the rest of the enemy team. You can avoid memorizing 100 different items by using a categorical response framework. Every marksman fits into a specific damage archetype. There are 4 archetypes to identify: attack speed, burst, critical hit, and magic. Late-game survival relies on precise, reactive itemization that neutralizes an enemy's specific win condition. The attack speed marksman is your most frequent threat. Heroes like Miya, Moskov, Melissa, and Hanabi rely on high-frequency basic attacks to overwhelm the front line. When you see Miya or Moskov, the flowchart points to Dominance Ice and Blade Armor. Dominance Ice cuts attack speed and lifesteal efficiency. Blade Armor then reflects their constant barrage back, forcing them to take damage for every shot. This build indexes heavily into physical mitigation, leaving you with lower raw HP and magic defense. You remain vulnerable to the enemy mage. The skill Burst Marksman follows a different pattern. Brody, Clint, Granger, and Beatrix use heavy skill combos to delete targets in a single rotation. For the Burst archetype, the flowchart points to a single item counter, Antique Cuirass. Antique Cuirass instantly debuffs the attacker's physical power specifically upon receiving skill damage, capping the potential of their full combo. This passive requires skill hits to trigger. If the enemy relies exclusively on basic attacks, Antique Cuirass provides nothing but raw stats. The gold efficiency of this item peaks against skill-heavy drafts, but it becomes a dead investment against basic attack-heavy heroes. Effective physical defense requires you to distinguish between rapid basic attacks and skill-based combos to ensure your item passives actually activate. Critical hit marksmen like Lesley, Bruno, and Lila represent the third archetype. They use extreme single-instance damage spikes to bypass standard armor. Twilight Armor is the specialized tool required to survive these massive hits. A late-game Lesley can deal 4,000 damage in a single shot. Twilight Armor introduces a hard cap to that burst, stripping away the excess damage before it hits your health bar. This item is threshold dependent. If you build it against a rapid-fire, low-damage marksman, the hard cap never triggers and the item slot is effectively wasted. Magic and hybrid marksmen like Natan and Kimmy are the most frequently misunderstood threats in the gold lane. Despite his position in the gold lane, Natan will completely ignore your physical shields. His damage profile is almost entirely magic-based. You must pivot to Radiant Armor for continuous magic damage, or Athena Shield to survive a magic burst. These items neutralize the unique magic scaling that allows these heroes to shred standard tank builds. Dedicating an item slot to magic defense forfeits physical armor, which leaves you exposed to the enemy's physical jungler or EXP laner. Identifying outlier damage types is the ultimate test of a roamer. Building standard physical defense against crit or magic threats mathematically accelerates your team's defeat. Elite tanking demands a deliberate, reactive reading of the enemy draft, rather than relying on a fixed item habit. This checklist highlights absolute itemization failures, alongside a reliable fallback option for chaotic drafts. Stacking raw HP against Moskov provides him with a massive pool for lifesteal, effectively fueling his survival while he kills you. Building high physical defense against Natan is another common error. You are spending gold to block damage types he doesn't actually deal. The universal build on the right, Test Boots, Dominance Ice, Blade Armor, Antique Cuirass, Twilight Armor, and Immortality, provides a blanket safety net against multi-threat physical compositions. This jack-of-all-trades approach is inefficient and lacks magic defense. Reserve it for drafts where the enemy team has overwhelming, diverse physical threats. Every match starts with a choice in the loading screen. Your survival depends on how you prepare for the specific threat approaching you. Match, build with intent to control the late game, and tell me in the comments which role we should guide next.